Hello, today in this video, I want to discuss about important coping skills when living with chronic pain. And I think it's not just for those living with chronic pain, but anyone that's having any forms of suffering. It must have been about the 4th month into chronic pain that I realized that there's a possibility that the pain would never go away. And it was a hard truth to swallow, and my mind just didn't know how to comprehend the idea of being in pain forever. At that time I was depressed. I didn't know, I didn't feel like doing anything because the pain has taken away everything that I used to enjoy. I didn't know how to spend my time, and I didn't know how to get back to the life I had before. From so much despair and hopelessness, I want to share with you what has helped me become content with a life with chronic pain and to live a happier life with chronic pain. But I want to say that it's not about accepting your condition. It's not a total acceptance of it, but rather how to be content with the long process of getting a diagnosis, finding a cure, finding a good doctor, finding effective medications for you, and so on. I've read people that have fought chronic pain for 15 years, 20 years, and they've actually gotten better and has become healthy again. So it's about getting to that stage. How do you continue fighting until you find a cure for your chronic pain? First, I would like you to watch a video. The link is in the description. While you're watching, I want you to notice a few things about the videos. First, the moment when her mind went from positive to negative. Second, when she became more proactive instead of being passive. And third, moments where she was training her endurance to overcome hardship. And lastly, fourth, moments when she was giving back to the community. Okay, so pause the video now and go watch it, and I'll catch you the other side. Alright, I hope you enjoyed that video. I think Janine is incredibly inspirational. I think her story all resonate really well. Her story and her struggle resonate really well with us that's suffering from chronic pain. I know that I cried the first time that I watched the video. But going back to what I was saying before, if you notice 4 things in the video. First is her going from a negative mindset to a positive mindset. She mentioned her friend Maria is always positive, never complaining, and was always smiling even though her friend Maria was in a worse situation than her. And her friend Maria was the reason that she said that she got to the stage where she asked herself, instead of why me, but why not me? I think that takes tremendous amount of wisdom and strength for her to so quickly get to that stage. So I think she's amazing. So that's just been going from negative to positive mindset. The second thing that I think she had was she was very proactive. She wanted to embark on new projects. She said she wasn't someone that is creative. I think that's important, someone that you're not. But she wants to do something that is creative. The other thing proactive she did was she saw a plane flying across the sky, and she go like, hey, I can't walk, but maybe I can fly. And then she immediately picked up the phone and called the flight school up to make a booking because she wants to learn how to fly. So again, that's all just going from a passive mindset to going to a proactive mindset. What can you do to create and be different and try to It could really be about many areas of your life being more proactive. So the third point is training your strength to overcome hardship. I think in Janine's video, I think there are many cases that she actually exhibited that. She mentioned that she started a training diary. You know, like at the start when she was unable to walk, she was going around the walls and things like that. She was fighting, right, training her body despite her doctor saying that she's probably not going to be able to do that. That's one. And second, she continued with the surgery. She didn't give up. She had a few more surgeries later on, and you can see her on the stage that she's upright, standing, sitting. So she had to go through that surgery. I've been through one surgery, and that was hard enough. There's many people out there that's gone through multiple surgeries. So I think it takes a lot of strength and a lot of endurance to fight through that hardship. I remember when she mentioned that she was going to flight schools with the Qantas, you know, all the macho men going to flight school, and she was in her cast. She had her catheter on, bags of medication, and there were moments that she said that she thought that she was never going to do it, but she did it in the end. And she gave us a little bit of a hint, saying that it's all about achieving the little goals. I've heard this saying a few times as well. It's about achieving little goals and accomplishing little things until you get to a good place. So the third point is definitely trying to train your body, trying to train your mind and body to endure hardship and challenges. I think that's really important. Fourthly is the fourth point is to give back to the community. For me, that's more important. In her case, you can see that she went back to her flight school and she became an instructor, giving back to where it all started. And also being on the TED Talk as well, sharing her experience of what happened to her. And I think it's a sign for me of giving back to the community. So that's the fourth point. The 4 points mentioned above, the skills that are discussed, are important skills to develop, I believe, to live a life with chronic pain, to have the strength and to have the ability to live a life with chronic pain. They lead to something which I think is the most important, which is the ability to create happiness. You have to have a happiness in order to fight chronic pain. And so in my own story, I remember turning from a negative mindset to a positive mindset. For me was I was lying down, and I used to compare myself to my friends. They have family, they have kids, they have a business of their own properties, and there was a moment where I just go like, hey, I don't absolutely need any of those things. I can just be happy. So I was just trying to shed that off me, the fact that I shed that off me and go like, hey, I can create my own life. I don't have to live the social norm. And so that was for me going from a negative mindset to a positive mindset. So in my experience, in my life, where I was training, or when I became more proactive, was I remember there was a suburb above my station that I worked, right? And I always thought about, what is it like there? Because I travel to work so often and I never get to see what's beyond that. So when I got ill and when I got sick, I go like, why don't I just go take a look? Because, well, there was nothing at home that I wanted to do anyway. But the point is being proactive. So I asked out a friend, asked her to join me, and we went to Mount Colah together and above that as well, not just that suburb, just to take a look what's around there. So that's just for me being proactive in life. The other thing that I did when I got sick was to play a game called Ingress, which is similar to Pokemon Go. You walk around, you catch Pokemons. And I've met absolutely wonderful friends through that game. Initially, it was quite scary meeting virtual friends, but again, be proactive and do something different. And like with those friends, I've ended up taking walks together with them. We've had dinner, we've had lunch together. So it's just always about being proactive. Try and see what you can do to get out to do something that's out of the ordinary. The third point that I mentioned was to train yourself to endure hardship and challenges. So for the past 10 years, I've been doing my stretching exercises, my core exercises, and I try to get to the point where I can do a bit of light cardio. But the important thing is that every time I get to the jogging part, I'll hurt myself again. A flare-up would happen again. All the time I'll be back to square one. And initially it was really hard going back to square one because you got to you feel like you've accomplished so much. But I've gone from square one to have the ability to jog again more times than probably 10, 20, 30 times. And what's interesting about that is every time I get to the jogging part, like my body's able to do a bit of light jogging. Every time I get to at that stage, there's just such a sense of accomplishment and happiness. But on the other side is that I'll know that I'll get a flare up soon again. And then eventually I just became content with the fact that something bad's going to happen, but I will have the strength to come back up again. So it's that ability, train yourself to have the ability to endure hardship. So not letting hardship to have an impact on me, just try and keep going. So the fourth point was giving back to the community. For me, that's probably the most important part. For Janine, yeah, she did it. For me, it's the most important part because it really, in my experience, really gives you a lot of joy, a lot of happiness, a lot of bullets to fight chronic pain. So for the past year, I signed up with Australian Red Cross, part of the Telecross volunteer group. So essentially, I just call up people isolated by themselves, maybe the elderlies, maybe the mentally challenged. I don't know if that's the right word. So give them a call every day just to check if they're okay because they're living by themselves. So that's me giving back to the community. Most of these people are in southern Sydney, in New South Wales, and it was just really easy to do. I can be in my bed, I can be in my PJs. I call them up in the morning, give them a chat, see how they are in the morning, see what they've been up to, see if they're well. It's nice to communicate with someone as well. I'm up in Sydney and they're in southern New South Wales, and I remember they said to me that they had really bad rain the day before, and I was like, and for me up in Sydney we were really fine weather, and then so I learned from him that he said that they get the storms first and then Sydney gets it the following day. So for me, the following day, that day that I was chatting him up, I was having a storm and he was fine. So it's just communicating, try and connect with other people. So I thought that was great. The other thing that I did was join up with the local city council with the linen service. So essentially there are some elderlies that can't change their bed, change the sheets. And so I had to go on YouTube and I had to learn how to do hospital corners for the sheets. And I learned that and I did that. I've been doing that to go into elderly. They're usually about in their 90s, or they have some illness that maybe they have got some ulcers, diabetes and stuff like that. So just help them change their sheets. It's nice to see them, chat with them. They appreciate you. They can't go out much, so they leave you cookies and stuff like that. So it's just really that for me was giving back to the community, and I think that's really important because um, you also see that you're not the only one suffering, right? These 90-year-olds, they fall a lot and they go to the hospital a lot, yeah, it was just nice to help them because it's also being able to connect with other people in your community. I think is the most important thing, is that when you go out, like I used to hate looking at people, elderlies jogging, because I'll be like, hey, how come you can jog and I can't jog? But I don't think about that much because people that are sick are just hiding in their rooms, you know, like you and I. We're just hiding in our rooms. You can't see them, so they are out there, and it's not just us. And the fact that if you can find something like the Red Cross or like the Linux service where you can give back to the community, you know, when you go out and you see other people, they're in your community and you're helping them, and if they're happy, you're happy. So my fourth point is, for me, is really important, and part of creating happiness is to, if you can find a way to give back to the community. You might think it's difficult, but seriously, the Telecross Red Cross thing is just waking up 8:30 in the morning, call them up and just chat. And it's so meaningful, both you and them, you know. It's not just them receiving, you're receiving just as much as they are. So I think practicing all these 4 points will help you create happiness. And it is this happiness that is the bullet, is the strength that you have to fight chronic pain, to push away the depressive thoughts, to clear the suicidal thoughts. It's really important to be happy and hopeful. If you're really good at creating happiness, you could even tip the balance towards happiness instead of depression and hardship with chronic pain. I remember there's a quote from a Buddhist monk that said, "A world that is full of hope is one that is joyous." So it's really important to have happiness because that will lead to hope. And with hope, then there is joy. So I wish all of you a tremendous amount of joy. And next, I've linked an article below about 10 simple ways to find happiness. I think it's from a psychology type of place. And a few things that has resonated me in the article. So in the article, they mentioned to bask in simple pleasures. And for me, in the beginning of my back pain, I really enjoyed and hated going to the pool because because sitting upright or being upright causes a lot of gravity and it pushes me down, and my sciatic nerve absolutely hates that. And I just used to love going to the pool. I can't swim, I'm hopeless at swimming, but being in the pool just really alleviates all that gravity, and I can just it's just really strange feeling. Like you can just relax in the pool and feel no pain. It's an absolutely wonderful feeling. So I've always basked in that pleasure, but for me, it's really burnt into the back of my head is getting out of the pool. Like everything is fine and you get out of the pool and then you just feel that heavy gravity. You never used to know how powerful and how strength there is in gravity, but when you have back pain, you get out of the pool and you feel that pressure from the pull from the gravity. You really notice its power and strength. And then I would just feel crap. And I'll be like, can I go back to the pool? But I've already been in the pool for too long. Anyway, that for me was basking in the simple pleasure of life. And the other thing that resonates with me in the article is finding a purpose in life. especially when pain happens so suddenly and you've lost your old life, and it's hard to get it back if you ever get it back. So it's, as I mentioned before, it's really important to be proactive, to find new purpose in life, to help you transition into a new life. I remember when I went back to Taiwan and I started working for my mom and dad. This is a little bit personal. I hope my parents don't find out about this. When I started work there, I noticed my dad and my mom, they have a lot of friction with one another. And my dad would always yell at my mom, really in a not nice language, and in a bit of a mean spirit. And throughout the years that I've been working with them, I noticed that mom and dad got a bit better, not as bad as before. And I think it's just the fact that I'm there creating a buffer so that my dad doesn't feel like yelling at mom as much in front of me. And I also noticed that mom feels much more at ease when I'm there, probably because I am the buffer. So even the tiny little thing like that, just being, for me, the purpose was to act as a buffer for my parents at work. So for dad not to get angry and for mom not to take the brunt of that. So it's just tiny little things for me. It's just for me. I know it's as silly as it sounds. It's just, that is a purpose for me, you know, like people ask me, do I want to find my own work? Do I want to do my work for myself, not work for myself, but find a job instead of working for mom and dad? And I'll be like, you know, for me, I just enjoy being that buffer for them. As silly as it sounds. Just to touch upon that point, remember in Janine's video, and she had the quote from the Chinese philosopher Lao Tzu, and the quote was, when you let go of what you are, you become what you might be. And that is so important. And yeah, I'll discuss this a little bit in my next video. So stay tuned for that. So it's really important to let go, because once you let go, then you can become who you could be. So the other thing in the article said was to just surround your life with people that make you smile. I've met so many great friends. If you check out my other video about me making friends, so you know where I'm coming from. So I've met so many great friends because of my pain. I've been able to connect with people at such a deeper level. It's not just the fact that I can connect with them, but I'm able to help them build that trust between friends, that it's not weird to be friendly with each other. For example, I was in my friend, his mom is in New York City, and currently it's the coronavirus, right? So I asked him, hey, do you want me to send your mom a care package? So, you know, with vitamins, with cold and flu medications, immune boost and stuff like that. So I asked him, do you want me to do that for you? And he said, yeah, by all means, go for it. I'm currently back in Taiwan, and we're gonna meet up soon. So definitely make friends if you can, and just surround your life with people that make you smile. I know those people that are really unwell, they're bedbound, and or in high school it might be difficult. But you can look up Facebook group. You can go on meetup.com, check that other video out. You can find board game groups to join, or any other things to join. There are also chronic pain support groups around, so you can see if they're in your area, if they're available. If not, you can, you know, start one up and just make more friends, and just stick to people that make you happy, make you smile. Ask your friends over for Scrabble, or board games. Yeah, remember that pain can be, and illness can be a positive influence in your life as well. It's not all negative. Some parts of it can be quite positive. So it's just about finding that out. So surround yourself with people that make you smile. So thank you for listening to me ramble about random stuff in my head. I truly appreciate your time. I hope you enjoyed the video. So I think typically it's important to end the video with going like, hey, you should go out and find something proactive to do. You should go out, you should try and think negative and positive instead of negative. You should go out and plan how you're going to endure hardship. But I think the more important thing, the more helpful, I've been thinking about this, the better way of doing it is to ask yourself and contemplate and mindfully think, what parts of your life you've already been doing that? I think that's way more helpful than try and be actively and going against what I'm trying to say. But actually think back what recently in the past year or a few years that you've actually gone from something that you've been negatively thinking about something and going into positive. I'll give you an example. I've come across on the internet a lot of people finding it really difficult and be resentful of healthy people. Completely understandable. I completely agree why that's the case, and I've been there many times as well. But if you're capable, if in the past you've been able to become okay with it or seeing it from a positive light, because I've noticed a lot of people online also have changed the way they think and seeing it in a positive light as well. It's going from a positive from a negative to a positive. So what in your life have you gone from a negative into a positive? Or what have you done in your life to be more proactive? Letting go of the old life, what other hobbies have you started to enjoy? You know, when you actually notice that you have changed, and that change is not a bad thing. Have you noticed that you picked up new hobbies? Maybe you go on Twitch and you start streaming video games and people are chatting with you, and people enjoy your videos, enjoy your content. That's being proactive. You know, what else can you do? Asking friends over, volunteering, stuff like that. What have you done recently that's proactive? And what exercise that you've been put off in the past? I know on the internet there's a lot of people that put off physiotherapy, right? They don't stick to it, they're not diligent at it. And recently I was just reading a comment that someone that said that they were going to be more diligent with it after the surgery because they weren't doing it before, but they know that's a key and important thing for them to do post-surgery. So think about what you've already done instead of, I'm not giving you any homework to go out and do, find new things to do, but it's important to identify these things. And once you identify it, then you have the key and the tools to see where you can apply in your other areas of your life. So take care, lots of love, and remember that your pain is my pain, and I hope you have soon get to the stage where you're pain-free, that you have the strength and you have the hope and you have, more importantly, the happiness to keep going and create a beautiful life. Alright, that's it for me. I have another video coming up, so stay tuned for that. Bye.